Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So the heavyweight division is arguably the most historic division in boxing, and certainly the most recognisable when it comes to creating cultural superstars, the likes of Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Joe Louis, etc. It's a division that is littered with amazing historical fights. Ali versus Fraser, the trilogy. Ali versus Foreman. Tyson becoming the youngest heavyweight champion. Joe Louis defeating Matt Schmeling in their rematch. The Riddick-Bowe, Evander Holyfield trilogies. Ali Ken Norton trilogies. The list goes on, even in modern days. Klitschko versus Joshua at Wembley. Fury versus Wilder trilogy. You know, we've had some great fights, some great series of fights, great stories, great champions, all produced by the heavyweight division. December the 7th marks another historic day in heavyweight boxing, and it goes down in Sofia, Bulgaria. A fight between two veterans of the game, Kubrat Pulev versus Manuel Charr, or Mahmoud Charr, however he goes by these days. Excellent fight in the heavyweight division. A fight in which you have to mark in your calendar. If you're working, book the day off. If you've got a hot date, bin her off. Whatever plans you have, cancel them immediately because you're going to see a heavyweight slobber knocker between two elite prime heavyweights. I'm joking. Manuel Charr versus Kubrat Pulev. 43-year-old Kubrat Pulev versus 40-year-old Manuel Charr. For the WBA regular heavyweight title, I remember 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, the WBA trying to say that, you know, they're going to get rid of these regular belts, they're going to slowly minimise them, etc, etc. And the heavyweight division was a talking point when it came to the WBA getting rid of, like, the regular title. This is dating back to the days of, like, Fred Oquendo and Ruslan Shagayev, those days. But here we are in 2024, going into 2025. The WBA regular heavyweight title is still being fought for. And not only is it being fought for, but it's being fought for between two ancient heavyweights. One guy in Pulev who, at his best, was a decent contender. I always felt he was a little overrated, to tell you the truth. Good jab, but not much else there, in my opinion. And Manuel Charr, who is, let's be honest, a glorified tough guy. That's what Manuel Charr is. Hard man, but in terms of skills, you know, very little to offer. Every time this guy's stepped up, he's pretty much lost. You know, got knocked out by Mairis Briedis back in 2015. Got beat on points by Johan Duhaupas. Knocked out by Povetkin. Stopped by Vitaly Klitschko. His last loss was back in 2015 against Briedis. And since 2015, so since August of 2015, Manuel Charr has had 6 fights in nearly 10 years. And he's fighting for a WBA regular title. Best win in those times is probably Alexander Ustinov. Pulev, on the other hand, you know, he's fought for a heavyweight title a couple of times. Obviously against Joshua, where he got stopped in 9 rounds. That was back in 2020, and before then, back in 2014, he fought Vladimir Klitschko for the unified heavyweight titles, and he got stopped and brutalized in 5 rounds. He's also lost the decision to Derek Chisora since the Joshua loss. Close fight, could have gone either way. Since the Joshua loss, his best win is Jerry Forrest, I would say. Hasn't been that active since Joshua. He's had 4 fights. I guess that's active for a 43-year-old heavyweight. But, yeah, I mean, how this fight is for a WBA regular title, I've got no idea. Does that mean the winner of this fight is going to be mandatory for the WBA official title, which is currently held by Usyk? Who knows? Maybe we'll get Usyk versus Pulev or Charr, or Fury versus Pulev or Charr. Can you imagine? But listen, man, this is a bit of a freak show fight. 2 old boys going at it. Prime for prime, Pulev was of a much higher level. Charr, for me, was always a bit of a fake contender. One of those guys that built his record up, somehow got a title shot against Vitali, got beat up, and ever since then he's kind of lived off that. Had a few fights here and there, lost his step-ups since, but he's hung around, man, Manuel Charr. He's hung around. How he's remained somewhat relevant for all this time is pretty remarkable. Whoever his manager is, or whoever his team are, they've done a very good job. To be able to position him for a fight like this is pretty remarkable, I'd say. So shout out to his team, I guess. But yeah, the fight goes down in Sofia, Bulgaria, Pulev's hometown. And it's a fight in which Pulev should win. Despite being 43 years old, he's still good enough to beat gatekeepers. So he beat Jerry Forrest back in 22. He beat Shevadutsky this year, who's like a gatekeeper as well, journeyman gatekeeper. He beat Andrei Wawashik as well. You know, he's good enough to beat these low-level gatekeepers, even now. Whereas Charr, man... well, what can I say about Manuel Charr? Well, he did knock out the mighty Chris Lovejoy back in, May of 2021? He knocked out Lovejoy in, I think, a round, or 2 rounds, maybe. 2 rounds, I think it was. But yeah, Charr is what he is, man. Anybody of consequence will beat Manuel Charr in the heavyweight division, and I still expect Pulev to have too much behind that jab from range. I expect Pulev to outbox Manuel Charr. Manuel Charr kind of plods forwards. He'll throw an overhand right. He'll throw a left hook. Doesn't really put his shots together very well. Very clunky, clumsy, and he's only got older, since he's had his last step-up fight. Pulev still has some coordination. He still has that jab. I'd actually say, despite him being older, I'd say he's still far less removed from his prime than Manuel Charr is. And Manuel Charr's prime, I'm not even sure Manuel Charr's prime would be good enough to beat this version of Pulev. And again, I don't rate Pulev. I never rated Pulev all that highly, but he was a decent enough contender. I think this stylistically favours Pulev. It's also in Pulev's hometown. More than likely, Pulev wins this fight based on the jab alone. Probably wins on points. Possibly a late stoppage, but I'd say Pulev wins this one on points. But again, a stoppage wouldn't surprise me. What would surprise me is Charr winning by any means at all. A Charr win would really surprise me. I don't know why I'm talking about this fight. I really don't. I'm trying to get a bit more active on this channel. I've been kind of stop and start with it for a number of years now, so yeah, I mean, why not talk about Kubrat Pulev versus Mahmoud Charr, whatever his name is these days. But yeah, I've got Charr on points. By the way, this fight is on DAZN, for those who are interested. DAZN bringing you the fights we want to see. But yeah, share your thoughts below. Who do you have winning this fight? And by the way, the fact that one of these guys could fight for a real heavyweight title in 2025 is crazy, because like I said, the winner of this fight theoretically would be the mandatory, right, for the full WBA title. We shall see. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Del Boy. Peace.